Hi everybody, welcome back to the Chasing Psychological Safety video series. This week we're going to be talking very specifically about one of the newest features in our software, which is the remote working satisfaction score. You can imagine why we've brought this into the software and why we're talking about it today, and we're going to give you a bit of the history about that as well as some of the details of the feature in the video. But the main message at the top is to say it's so important that we're checking in on how satisfied people are with their working setup, remote, hybrid, whatever it might be. We've been talking a lot about the great resignation and the risks that companies run if they're not checking in on that satisfaction level that people have got with their working setup at the moment. So, and not just checking in on it once, but checking in on it continually and regularly. That's what it's going to take in this new world of work.
Exactly. And as with every other feature that we have brought to you, we wish we could say we thought about this out of the box ourselves and we then created it and presented it to you, but that would be false. What has happened, as with everything else that's any good, is that our clients, yourselves, people we were doing, teams we were working with, and people we were doing implementations and POCs with, have asked whether they can see the results of the questions we had put together. To roll back and give you a little bit of an idea as to what happened when COVID first hit, in Europe and obviously everywhere else, but in Europe we had a first lockdown around, I believe it was March, April of 2020. And when that happened, we knew very quickly that all of the conversations we were having with major enterprises will be at least momentarily put on hold until such a time that their teams would be now dispersed towards remote working and working from home. And the first thing we've done was to put out a response to the COVID crisis from our point of view as PeopleNotTech, which consisted of the fact that teams could use the software for free for some time, but more importantly, that they could also see this new pack of questions we had created called the Stay Connected pack. That's the old name of this type of question that we're describing today. And the intention behind that was that everyone is aware we're all traversing the same shared, if very surreal, reality. So some of the questions that we're going to talk about today had been part of that initial package. And then obviously that package grew with time and we have added things and we have then put them in conjunction with the other elements of psychological safety that we saw. But that initial package was there so that everyone who was all of a sudden sent home and asked to continue to perform their work from their house understood that they are not unique in that and we are all living through the same shared reality.
Absolutely. So it started out as the Stay Connected pack. It's now called the Remote Working Satisfaction Score. So what do we actually ask people? We always say in our videos, if you are not going to come and talk to us, although please do, about our psychological safety dashboard, please do this. Use somebody else or do this yourselves manually. So we wanted to share with you just some of the questions that we ask really in the software with regards to the Remote Working Satisfaction Score. So things like statements, I think, will be very successful when working remotely. I miss the live interaction in the office and people will say yes or no. My colleagues seem more relaxed when working from home. I miss my morning routine at my desk. So testing all the different elements of, what do we miss? What are we enjoying about work from home? I don't mind being on video during calls. And a really big one that we ask is, I'm feeling anxious. So asking people to really weigh in, not just on the practical elements of the working from home and their satisfaction with their work setup, but how are they feeling and how safe are they feeling in that working setup as well. So hopefully that gives you just a couple of insights into how we're doing it and the questions that you can ask your teams as well.
So just if you're going to be doing it by hand, as Fionn said, then kind of sit down and think of all the things you should be asking your teams, whether this is to inform your decision going forward in terms of policy as a company, or this is, as Fionn said, to ask on an ongoing fashion in a barometer of how people feel. It's really important that you encompass both what they're doing, how they're doing it, what tools they're using, how happy they are with those, and how they really feel about things. And there are some questions that are slightly more insidious, which we not insidious, that's the wrong formulation, but slightly more carefully crafted, if you wish, and they will reveal whether or not people feel at ease with it. Things like, I sometimes feel reluctant to take a sick day off if I'm working from home. That doesn't sound like a direct question, but it is, or a more logical question. You would have seen a survey, but it does give you an indication of how comfortable people are just being themselves and employing their natural rhythm and being honest about how they're feeling in this environment. So try and capture all of these aspects. If you can't talk to us or talk to other people that are doing it, we have about, I'd like to say, 75 questions in that pack right now. It grows, and obviously, as with everything else, we are able to insert customized questions that make more sense to separate teams, separate enterprises. But out of the box, the score is based on these 75 questions, which are interspersed with normal psychological safety questions about flexibility, resilience, courage, learning, and engagement. And they give you a very clear score as to how happy people are with working from home or not. So again, talk to us, talk to other people doing this, but don't just fly blind. Don't use your gut feeling and your impression of things to institute any kind of blank policies or to kind of go forward with no idea as to how people are feeling. Thank you for listening to us, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.